7.1. My worst exam result. Bidiarnot.
It's years since I took any exams, but I can still remember feeling sick with fear before each one. I was a bit of a nerdy student. I always did my homework and revised hard, so usually I didn't find it too difficult to pass exams. That's why the memory of the one exam I failed makes me shudder to this day. It was my domestic science exam. Well, at least that's what they used to call it in those days. It was, in fact, a cookery exam. And who could possibly fail that? I know all we ever learned to make in class were ginger biscuits and spaghetti bolognese, but I'm still not sure how I managed to fail. All I can remember is that one minute the fish pie was in my hands, the next it was face down on the floor. I tried to pick up the bits and arrange them in another dish, but it was hopeless and I knew it. I failed miserably, my worst ever result. Ironically, today I am quite a good cook. I just hate making fish pie.
Ted Stockton.
I'm a teacher, and I think it's good to be able to say to my shocked students, I once got 9% in an exam. That was what I scored in the chemistry exam at the end of my first year at university. My other results weren't much better. I only just managed to get enough marks overall to allow me to continue to the second year. Actually, the dismal mark was no surprise. I'd had a ball in my first year and neglected my studies. But 9%. My tutors expected me to do better than that. The good thing was that I realised that my choice of degree was a big mistake, and I decided to change course and study English literature. A great decision because it resulted in me becoming a teacher. And when I want to warn my students about the dangers of not working hard, I tell them about my 9%.
Winston Laurent.
I wasn't a star pupil, but I was good at taking exams. I was particularly good at maths and physics, and I dreamed of becoming an astronaut. I hoped to be the first black guy on Mars. Failing that, a stockbroker in the city and make millions. Our maths teacher let us work at our own speed, and by the time I was 14, I was years ahead of the rest of my class. My teacher encouraged me to take the advanced level maths exam at 14, but I was worried about being called a swot, so I refused to. I stopped working so hard. Then, when I finally took the exam at 18, I failed miserably. I could no longer look forward to being an astronaut or a stockbroker. I studied politics and sociology instead, and finally became a TV news reporter. I love it, but I'd have preferred to walk on Mars.
7.2. Who is speaking? 1.
You're such a swot. You never stop working. Come and play football with us.
2.
Sir, we'd like to know why you got such a low mark.
3.
Oh my goodness, what a mess! You have no chance of passing now.
4.
Good evening. Talks have broken down with the train drivers, and they're expected to go on strike next week.
5.
Oh, I didn't mean to drop it. It was an accident.
6.
OK, I hope you all managed to finish writing the essay on the Romantic poets.
7.3. I was a horrible teenager.
I feel bad about it now. I was a horrible teenager. I made my poor mum and dad suffer so much. I didn't mean to, but my friends were all important and mum and dad were just embarrassing.
Tell me about it.
I'll never forget going on this awful picnic with mine. I was about 14, I think.
Didn't you want to go?
Oh, no, they forced me to. We drove to the countryside and stopped to have our picnic by the river. My dad put a rug down on the grass and wanted me to join them, but I refused to. I wouldn't get out of the car.
Why not?
Oh, you know, I felt embarrassed. I didn't like the idea of sitting with my mum and dad on a rug, eating egg and tomato sandwiches. Just wasn't cool.
Oh, your poor mum and dad.
Well, I remember standing in our kitchen yelling, "I hate you! I hate you!" at my parents.
Why? What had they done? Or more to the point, what had you done?
Oh, I persuaded them to let me go to this big party. And it was near my exams, and I promised to be home by midnight, and...
And, of course, you weren't.
No, it was 2:00, and they kept calling me, and I didn't answer my phone. I was grounded for a month.
Well, I remember when I'd just passed my driving test and I begged my mum to let me borrow her car and I crashed it, turned it over in a ditch.
Oh, you two were horrible. Me, I was such a boring teenager. I didn't behave badly at all. My mum and dad were kind of cool, so maybe I didn't need to.
7.4. The reduced infinitive. 1.
Did you post my letter?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to.
2.
I can't go out with you this evening. Sorry.
Oh, but you promised to.
3.
Why did you give Lily my number?
Because she asked me to.
4.
Do you think you'll apply for that job?
No, I've decided not to.
5.
Were they a difficult team to beat?
Yes, but we managed to.
6. Are you taking Nick to the airport?
Well, I offered to, but he said I didn't need to.
7.5. The best of friends. Kate.
I had a best and worst friend. She was called Carly Robson. Everyone wanted to be Carly's friend. She could pick and choose her friends. She was really athletic, great at all sports, especially running and hockey. Teachers loved her because she won so many trophies for the school. She could do no wrong. Every now and then, when there was no one more interesting around, she'd let me be her friend, and we'd go shopping together or something. Stupid me. Then she'd just drop me, walk past me in the corridor. I hate myself now for being so upset, but it took years for me to realise that she just wasn't worth it. She got bored with sport eventually. I'm not sure what she's doing these days. Last I heard, she was working in a pub.
Dave.
Well, I met my best friend on my first day at university. I just moved into my student room when this huge family arrived to move Danny into the room next to mine. I'm an only child, so 3 small boys kicking off in the corridor outside my room filled me with horror. And then, when they finally left, there were so many tears and hugs as they all said goodbye to their precious Danny. My dad had brought me to uni, and he had left after 5 minutes after a quick hug. Anyway, Danny and I introduced ourselves, and in no time we were talking and laughing together. So that was the beginning. Then we discovered we had a lot in common. We were on the same course, and we both loved cooking. We ended up doing a lot of cooking for the other guys on our corridor. Well, that was 12 years ago. And we're still best friends. In fact, we're married and expecting our first baby. You see, Danny is Daniela. She's my best friend and my wife.
Molly.
My best friend started out as a pen friend. It's a remarkable story in a way. When I was 12, our teacher, Miss Potts, we had fun with that name, started a pen friend club at school. She had the names of lots of 12-year-old girls in America and Canada who wanted English pen pals. And I got Carol Swift from Toronto. We started exchanging letters about school and sports, and then we just kept on writing and eventually emailing. We exchanged birthday and Christmas cards and wrote about all sorts. Boyfriends, driving lessons, marriage, babies, divorce, good times, bad times. I felt that I really knew Carol. I could tell her anything and everything. But we didn't actually meet until we were 45. Carol came to London and we had a great 2 days together. I felt I'd known her all my life. Well, I suppose I had in a way. Now, of course, we Skype as well, and I've been over to Toronto twice.
Sam.
When I was in nursery, Martha was my best friend. I loved Martha, but I'm not her best friend anymore. She's a girl, and I don't want a best girlfriend. So, Oliver's my best friend now. We met in class 1. Martha cried when I told her. She did, really, but she's got lots more best friends now. I don't know why I like Ollie. That's what we call him. But maybe it's 'cause we do stuff together, like football and stuff. Mrs. Morgan, she's our teacher, calls us the terrible twins because we look the same. We've both got blonde, spiky hair and we make a lot of noise. Well, she says we do. We have sleepovers at each other's houses. I kind of like that, but I miss Mummy. I take my bunny blanket and Ollie brings his monkey when he comes to us, so it's okay.
7.6 Body language. 1.
Bob's hopeless at all sports. He can't even kick a football.
2.
The cat got up the tree easily enough, but I had to climb a ladder to get her down.
3.
Daniel, stop staring out of the window and get on with your work.
4.
Since you whistled that tune, I can't get it out of my head.
5.
I hate it when my Aunt Mary hugs me tight. She wears this disgusting perfume and I smell of it afterwards.
6.
Daisy, you'll get brain freeze if you eat your ice cream so fast. Lick it gently.
7.
Do people kneel down to pray in all religions?
8.
I keep trying to stop biting my nails, but I can't. I can't kick the habit.
9.
I'm terrified of blowing up balloons in case they go pop.
10.
Don't scratch that insect bite. You'll get an infection.
11.
By the end of the concert, we were all clapping our hands in time with the music.
12.
The CCTV camera showed the gunman pointing a gun at the bank clerk.
13.
My dad's useless at doing DIY. He can't even hit a nail with a hammer.
14.
My 2-year-old nephew is so cute. He loves marching up and down like a soldier.
7.7 You poor thing. Conversation 1.
Oh dear, what happened to you?
Oh, I fell and twisted my ankle.
You poor thing. How did you do that?
Well, I was walking and texting and I didn't see this bump in the pavement and...
So you fell while texting? And you've only got yourself to blame.
Conversation 2.
How was the restaurant?
It was so bad. We're not going back there again.
Why not?
Well, I found a caterpillar in my salad. I nearly swallowed it.
Ugh! How disgusting!
Conversation 3.
My phone's broken. It fell down the loo.
Oh no! What a disaster! Is it completely ruined?
No, I've put it in a bag of rice.
You've done what? Why?
Well, someone told me the best way to dry it out is to leave it in rice for 48 hours.
Rice? That's such nonsense. I bet it won't work.
7.8. Exclamations. 1,
His lectures are so boring. I can't help falling asleep.
2,
Is it for me? How lovely. That's so kind of you.
3,
What a coincidence! I didn't know Tom was your cousin.
4,
You won £1,000? What luck! I never win anything.
5,
That's such a stupid idea. It'll never work.
6,
We had such terrible weather. It rained every day.
7.9. Conversation 4.
I hear you aren't coming to Max's 18th. What a pity.
Yes, it is, but it's my grandpa's birthday too.
But everyone's going to Max's. It'll be such fun.
I know, but it's grandpa's 80th.
Oh, well, don't worry. Max will understand. An 80th birthday is more important than an 18th.
Conversation 5.
Carl texted Anna to say that he dumped her.
How dreadful! He couldn't tell her face to face.
Yeah, he's such a coward.
Oh, well, I think she's well rid of him, don't you?
Conversation 6.
My Wi-Fi keeps disconnecting.
How frustrating. But you know what they say.
What?
Just try turning everything off and on again.
Yeah, I know, but I have to do that 2 or 3 times a day. It's so annoying.
Time to call an engineer.